Welcome back, everyone. This is Dave from Corman Productions, here to do another rewatch video of Quantum Leap, Season 2, Episode 20, Maybe Baby. The episode's description reads as follows. Sam is involved with the kidnapping of a baby while crossing Texas with his stripper accomplice. The episode was directed by Michael Zimberg, his third of the series, the last being A Portrait for Troyan, and the next being the finale of the Season 2, MIA, which means that he directed both the worst episode of the series and one of the best in the same season. The episode was written by Donald P. Belzerio, Paul Brown, and Julie Brown. Julie Brown, who also guest stars in this episode. The episode takes place on March 11th, 1963, and originally aired on April 4th, 1990. Before going any further, I will tell you a couple of things. One, this is not a spoiler-free video, so if you haven't checked out the episode, I highly recommend that you do so before coming back and watching my video. Secondly, if you like this video and want to support the channel, please like, share, and comment, as well as subscribing to my channel. This is going to be a short one, folks. This episode is aggressively mediocre, and unfortunately did not improve upon rewatch. I don't feel like taking it scene by scene. I just don't think I'm going to get anything out of doing it that way, and I think that the boredom that I have with this episode will be very, very evident, weaken my performance overall. I didn't like Freedom, but it gave me some interesting things to talk about. Goodnight Dear Heart wasn't a favorite of mine, but at least gave me interesting reasons as to why I didn't particularly care for it. This episode does not give me much of anything interesting to say, outside of a couple of things, and we will get to that. Al's Place more or less agrees with me. They say, although one of the more mediocre episodes in its run, Maybe Baby has many elements that endear it to Quantum Leap fans. Sam leaps into Buster, bouncer for the Girls A Go-Go Lounge, and companion to would-be kidnapper Bunny O'Hare. Against all advice from Al and Ziggy, Sam finds himself helping Bunny carry baby Christy to her very much alive mother in New Mexico. Along the way, they must narrowly escape authorities, care for Christy through some unorthodox methods, and even strip her money to help them with the mission. Some notable standards in this episode are the conflict between Al and Sam about the purpose of the leap. Sam banking on information that the person that he leaped into would not have had. The interaction between baby Christy and Sam, and Al's opinion of Bunny and strippers in general. As always, the characters are supremely acted by both the main and the guest cast, and the somewhat trite storyline is compensated with genuine hilarity. All in all, Maybe Baby may not be the best episode of Quantum Leap, but it's still a great deal better than most things on TV. Okay, I respect this opinion, but I do have to disagree with the site's opinion on the guest acting in this episode. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Julie Brown's performance as Bunny in this episode. As a kid, I found her character supremely irritating, but also really easy on the eyes, and it was fun for me to see her wearing significantly less clothes. Being a 12-year-old is an extremely confusing time in one's life. Upon rewatch, I still find her extremely irritating, and also easy on the eyes, and also I enjoyed the moments when she wasn't wearing very much. I guess being 41 is also a very confusing time in one's life. There was only one scene where Julie Brown wasn't driving me bonkers with her performance, and that's the last scene in the episode where Bunny is giving out the baby she has come to love back to her real mother. Her performance there was very affecting. In addition to her work here, she also appeared in the movie Clueless, as well as that series, as a different character that ran from 1996 to 1999. She appeared in the movie Earth Girls Are Easy, the series The Middle, and one episode of 6 Feet Under. Altogether, she has 89 acting credits, 3 directorial stints, and 17 writing credits. Other actors to appear in this episode include Jimmy Ray Weeks, who has appearances in the movie Requiem for a Dream, Analyze This, the Top Gun spoof Hot Shots. All in all, he has 41 acting credits, nothing since 2001. Carmen Philpe makes a brief appearance in this episode as a weird old dude at the vet that Sam and Bunny take baby Christy to. He has appearances in the Adam Sandler flick The Wedding Singer, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, Wayne's World, and appeared in a lot of 90s comedies, including Roseanne, Everybody Loved Raymond, and Home Improvement. Before he died on May 9th, 2003, at the age of 80, he had racked up 106 acting appearances. Curiously, I can't find a credit for baby Christy. IMDb doesn't list her at all, and AlicePlace.com incorrectly credits Kathy McCallie as the one who plays her. Kathy McCallie plays a character named Maria in this episode. She's a bit part in this episode. This episode has a passing resemblance to the movie Raising Arizona, which was in 1987, and this very well could have been a homage to that movie. The movie's description reads as follows. When a childless couple of an ex-con and an ex-cop decide to help themselves to one of another family's quintuplets, their lives become more complicated than they anticipated. The movie starred Holly Hunter and Nicolas Cage. AlicePlace.com brings up one thing that is actually worth discussing, and will probably be the last thing I discuss for this episode, and that is the fact that Sam has a tendency to either fall for a pretty face or just instantly believe a pretty face. Sam has a reputation as being the one who doesn't get whittled around by his nether region, whereas Al Calvici is the one who's the walking hormone. Sam believes Bunny's story instantly, while Al is a great deal more skeptical. And we have seen this before from Sam, and we will see it again, and he will get it very wrong in a 5th season episode during the Evil Leaper trilogy. But it's interesting that although he goes against what his reputation is supposed to be, he ends up right. He was right in Play It Again Seymour. Allison was not guilty of murder in that episode, whereas Al thought she was. And in this episode, despite the fact that Bunny had provided plenty of opportunities to showcase that she wasn't exactly the most honest person in the world, she was honest about the fact that they were taking the baby back to the real mother. It is also very interesting that Ziggy gets this one completely and totally wrong. At the beginning of the episode, it is said that Ziggy feels that there's a 75% chance that Sam is supposed to take the baby back to the father. In the original history, that's what happened. The father caught up to them, and the baby was returned. Only, this is completely and totally wrong, as the actual mission was to return the baby to their mother. And I don't understand how Ziggy got this one so wrong. Why does it make sense to Ziggy, or Al for that matter, that the mission was to return the baby when that's what actually happened in the original history? Al ends up surmising that if they return the baby, the pair of would-be thieves get less time. And Sam doesn't buy that that's what he's there to do. He doesn't buy that getting them a reduced sentence is his true mission. And he, of course, ends up getting proven right. So this is a major whiff on the part of Ziggy. Anyway, that's all I really want to talk about for this week's episode. It was an okay episode, very highly mediocre. It wasn't great, it wasn't good, it wasn't terrible. Really, when it comes down to it, it was just sort of there. Next week when we meet up again, we will be talking about Sea Bride, the penultimate episode of Season 2. I was not fond of this one back in the day, but I know for a fact that this one has grown on me. So next week, you'll hear my updated thoughts on that episode. If you like this video and want to support the channel, there are a number of ways to support me. You can follow me on Twitter at Core Productions. You can join my Core Productions Facebook page. You can buy me a coffee, which is a new way to support content creators such as myself. You can buy something from the Core Productions store on Zazzle. And of course, you can like, share, and comment on this video, as well as subscribing to my channel. This is Dave from Core Productions, signing off.